This production was brought to you by an iPhone, which is equally difficult as it is innovative.
Oh, hello. How are you doing today? Well, let me not be rude. My name is Andre Carbonnell. I'm with Poetry for Personal Power, better known as P3 for short. We started off as a stigma reduction and social inclusion program back in 2009 and slowly evolved into a nonprofit that stretched across 3 states, Missouri, Kansas, and my beautiful home, Colorado, which I hope you get a chance to visit one day because the mountains, the scenery is just beautiful. You can't beat it. P3, we believe in a lot of things. First and foremost, our mission is to show that arts can show that emotional distress is both temporary and transformative. We also believe in a recovery movement / model versus a disease model that a lot of our counterparts in the mental health industry are fond of. And ultimately, we believe in the people, the artists. Those are the people who can bring true change to our communities. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do right now. I got distracted, but I was working on this grant for the National Council of Behavioral Health, and I'm trying to figure out how can I get some support from my local community that I know is being pushed out, disenfranchised, marginalized, doesn't have access to resources, doesn't even have the education to know where to get resources. I don't have all the solutions, but I have some ideas, and I hope that they can help.
Haiku. Community organizations are the best outlets for peer support. Haiku. To reach youth and young adults, you must create safe and engaging spaces. Haiku. Youth-led movements can change the perceptions on how we address mental health. Haiku. Connecting to community will decrease isolation for youth.
During my time of being regional coordinator of Colorado for Poetry for Personal Power, I've realized a few things. Number one is if we want more effective results, we must put on our investigator's cap. We must interrogate. We must go deeper. Two, although a cliche and overplayed metaphor, people, community, mental health is a lot like a banana. What's happening on the outside affects what's going on the inside. And if we want to recover, we must peel back the layers to truly understand and digest what a person is going through. Now, Poetry for Personal Power is committed to providing culturally competent programming to our local community, especially youth 10 to 24, because they are the most susceptible to. Don't just believe my word for it. Allow my peers to tell you how they truly feel. Nuances to it, and you add race and gender and class and sexuality on the dynamic of what is happening to a person's mental, it can be very difficult.
So I really have to be very proactive about my own health, and definitely a huge part of that was my art, was being able to have an outlet, being able to not only have an outlet but also have a community space in which I could share and see that I resonated with other people's stories and they resonated with mine.
Because I can put it on paper, I don't have to say anything.
That stuff. As of now, I'm currently not taking any medication or attending therapy, but in the meantime, I've definitely found an outlet through putting together these shows, and even my own music as an artist is definitely an outlet for me to benefit my mental well-being. I definitely have an interest in music therapy. I actually have a book here called Music Physician for Times to Come. Really interesting book, talks about how, the science of just healing with sound and the history of it and everything. And I think really music has multiple benefits to it as long as you know what you're doing. So I would like to, in some way or another, be able to integrate that into any of our future events.
I struggle a lot with anxiety and depression, and when I first made those things known, especially to my primary care provider, the first notion was, well, we're just going to medicate it, as opposed to trying to get to the root of the problem. And it wasn't until I was in my adulthood, I'm 24 now, that I started doing more with holistic health and seeing therapists. I also come from an immigrant family. I'm an immigrant myself, and so our views around mental health are very different. Things like anxiety and depression seem to not really exist in our communities.
Well, in my experience, we don't treat it as if it exists. And yeah, I never really knew that there was language for different ways, different mental health, just experiences with people. And I think if I had had the knowledge of that, that would have given me so much, I would have had so much less anxiety, and even then, even now, I know the word anxiety, so treating something like it doesn't exist, and then, figuring out that it does, I don't know, that cultural, it was a culture shock, really.
Yes, and it's one of my fears, actually, being alone and being bored, because I always feel like I have to, have something to do, or else I don't know what to do with myself.
The only struggle that I've had with, I guess, the healthcare system, one has been the, I guess, predisposition to medicate a problem away as opposed to looking at it holistically. And also through my insurance, just there isn't a lot of support. Finding therapists, there are some therapists that I can find at a mostly affordable price, but one of the things I definitely believe in is that therapy should be something that is subsidized and available for anyone.
Welcome back. They had a lot of interesting things to say, didn't they? I'm glad my community entrusts me and entrusts Poetry for Personal Power as an organization to do this work. I'm also thankful we've been invested in on a national level to receive grants from PCORI and SAMHSA to help sustain a $750,000 to $1 million budget. With that, we've been able to accrue a team of 74 sponsored artists and advocates and put them through patient advocate trainings and entrepreneurship development programs, even increase their median income from $250 to $2,500 per year. And not to mention work on some pretty cool projects like a healthcare graphic novel. See, that's me. The Transforming Emotional Distress Initiative is a way to bring equity to mental health in Denver, as well as cultivate culturally responsive spaces.
P3 is committed to connecting community and decreasing isolation. It wouldn't be possible without our partners, Peer Coach Academy, Colorado, Apprentice of Peace Youth Organization, Minor Disturbance, Mental Health Center of Denver, Slam Nuba, and many others.
I feel like when I'm around people, it's kind of mixed feelings, because I'm a little bit of an introvert, and so it's weird because I don't like being lonely, but I don't like being in too big of a crowd. When I'm with my crew, it's like a happy feeling, like, I'm with the fam, and makes me happy.